Monday, 22nd of April 2024. This day is celebrated as Earth Day. Earth Day is marked across the globe on to April 22nd to support environmental conservation efforts. It was first celebrated across the United States college campuses in 1970. Months after a massive oil spill in Santa Barbara, the movement has since mobilized more than a billion individuals in over 192 countries. Starting the newspaper analyst of the newspaper The Hindu states that Europe is world's fastest warming continent. A report says a lake of meltwater formed on the tongue of the Rohini Glacier near the Gom, Switzerland on June 13, 2023. The latest 5-year averages show temperatures in Europe are now running 2.3 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. Europe is the fastest warming continent and its temperatures are rising at roughly twice the global average. Two top climate monitoring organizations reported on April 22nd, warning of the consequences of the human health, glacier melt, and economic activity. The Hindu newspaper also states that Sensex climbs 640 points, Nifty tops 22,300 level in early trade. From the Sensex basket, Ultratech, Cement, Axis Bank, Bajaj Finance, Larsen and Toubro, Tata Steel and Tata Motors were the major gainers. Equity benchmark indices as Sensex and Nifty climbed in the early trade on April 22nd amid a rally in Asian markets, decline in Brent or crude oil prices, and buying by foreign investors. BSC Sensex image. The Hindu newspaper also states that NIA raids on Srinagar in terror-related case. The search operation was conducted almost a month after the NIA charge sheeted two accused in the Kokarnak Jammu Kashmir encounter case. The National Investigation Agency (NIA) on the April 22nd carried out raids at 9 locations in Srinagar in a militancy-related case, officials said. Image used for representational purpose only. The Hindu newspaper also states that Lok Sabha elections 2024 live updates, repolling underway in Manipur. Prime Minister Modi to address rally in Uttar Pradesh, Amit Shah in Chhattisgarh. Congress hit back at Prime Minister Modi over his distribution of wealth remarks, targeting the party, saying after the facing disappointment in the first phase of Lok Sabha election polls, the Prime Minister has now restored lies and hate speech. A view of polling station that was damaged by a crowd during the first phase of the general election in Moirang Kamapu, Sajeb Awang Laikai of Impal, Manipur. According to the Hindustan Times newspaper states that pro-China President Mohammad Mursiy's coalition wins Maldives parliamentary election. Maldives President Mohammad Mursi, along with his supporters in May. Maldives President Mohammad Mursi's ruling coalition scored a landslide victory in Sunday's parliamentary election, securing an absolute majority in parliament as voters appeared to back his government's policy to align the Indian Ocean archipelago more closely with China. Hindustan Times also states that United Nations Secretary General backs India's multilateral development banks reform work, encasing with the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres. Antonio Guterres, the United Nations Secretary General, has said that the reform of multilateral development banks (MDBs) will be a key theme at his this year's Summit of the Future, the flagship event of the SG's team, to be held during the annual high-level United Nations General Assembly meeting this September. He has also hailed the work done by the Indian G20 presidency in this regard. Going towards the economy of the country from the business point of view, 7% is not an adequate growth rate. India has got to be growing more rapidly because of the demographic dividend. Jayannath Verma. Monetary policy should be wary of keeping rates tight. A favorable monsoon should reduce security for food price shocks, says MPC member Verma. Jayannath Verma, member of Monetary Policy Committee, Reserve Bank of India. Janat R. Verma, one of the external members of the Reserve Bank of India's Monetary Policy MPC, believes that the food prices stocks which were transcend in the previous fiscal year are expected to be short-lived in financial year 2025 as well. And inflation is firmly on a path of gliding towards the 4% target, he says. Warma, who has been voting for 25 basis points BPS cut in the repo rate for the previous two meetings, told High-Tech Vyas and George Matthew that the monetary policy should be wary of keeping the interest rate so high that it prevents the revival of private sector capital investment. The projected GDP growth of 7% for financial year 2025 is achievable, but it is not an adequate rate of the country is well below the pre-pandemic level, said Verma, who is a professor of finance in Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. Edited expert says. From business point of view, surging peak demand as the temperature source efforts underway to bring in an idle capacity. In the financial year 2024, August recorded the highest shortfall of 6%, followed by 5% in January and 4% in the October month. On April 12, the Power Ministry invoked Section 11 of the Electricity Act 2003 to instruct 15 imported coal-based thermal power plants to operate at a full capacity till October 15. Direct tax collection up 18% in financial year 2024, top revised budget estimate at the gross level, which is before adjusting for funds. Direct tax collections for financial year 2023-24 stood at rupees 23.37 lakh crore, a growth of 18.48% over the gross collection of rupees 19.72 lakh crore in previous financial year. Government's net direct tax collections after the adjusting for refunds grew 17.7% year-on-year to rupees 19.58 lakh crore in financial year 2023-24, exceeding the revised estimate of rupees 19.45 lakh crore by 0.67%, as per the provisional estimates released by the Ministry of Finance on Sunday. Income tax collections continue to be higher than the corporate tax collections. Quite was the world news, including Iran-Israel crisis. Live updates will fight with the all-might strength, says Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, as the United States plans to improve sanctions on army battalions. Israeli leaders criticized the expected United States sanctions against a military unit that could further strain ties. Nearly 66,000 Indians officially became American citizens in 2022, CRS report. Trump slows campaign spending as the tries to close cash gap with the Biden. Maldivian President Milzio secures as per majority in the parliament, polls media. Israeli forces show 3 Palestinian assailants in West Bank, army says. Going towards the science and technology from Tech News, Indian American run company's non-invasive device could become a hearing aid for the spine. In an interview with the IndianExpress.com, Pragad of SpineX tells us how his company is developing 2 spinal neuromodulation devices targeting use in the treatment of the neurogenic bladder and pediatric celebrated cerebral palsy. Gadron SpineX, a clinical stage or medtech bioelectric company specializing in developing non-invasive tools for patients, which he started in 2019. From artificial intelligence point of view, this artificial intelligence powered camera can turn pictures into poems. Poetry camera, an artificial intelligence powered camera that uses the GPT-4 turns the images captured by the scene into poems describing the scenes. Artificial intelligence is either completely changing or majorly impacting pretty much everything around us. The latest is a poetry camera which does exactly what it says, turning your photos into poems. This camera is powered by Open Artificial Intelligence GPT-4, which also powers ChatGPT Plus. From the Tech News, also Google Wallet contactless payment application now available in India. Google Wallet launched in India for Android users, allowing secure contactless payments with the credit, debit cards and digital pass storage. The Google Wallet application can be downloaded from the Play Store also. And last, there is a famous quotation said by Allama Iqbal, whose full name was Muhammad Iqbal. Dr. Muhammad Iqbal, birth anniversary 9 November 1877 up to 21st of April 1938, was a South Asian Islamic philosopher, poet, and a politician. His poetry is considered to be among the greatest of the 20th century, and his vision of a cultural and political ideal for the Muslims of British rule in India is widely regarded as the having animated the impulse for the Pakistan movement. He is commonly referred to by the honorific Allama, Persian most learned. Allama Iqbal says a famous quotation. He says that inner experience is only source of human knowledge. Okay, thank you.